Hello, you join me just outside Milngavie. We've taken the train to get here rather than cycling through Glasgow because I found that is a pain to do. So we got the train out here. We're now on the country roads, and yeah, this is one of my training rides, longer training rides for the Étape Caledonia, which we have in a few weeks. But crucially, it's also going to be a sort of first impressions video of the Garmin Edge 1040, which I've recently picked up. If you've watched any of the previous videos, you'll know that I get lost a lot. So having some form of navigation in the head unit has already made a big difference, and I'm sure it will help with the training going forward. The route today, we're heading out of Milngavie, kind of northwest, then we'll cut east across to a wee town called Fintry. And once we get past Fintry, we're actually onto the route that was used for the 2023 UCI World Championships, although we're going the other direction. So we'll see how we get along along there. I don't think we'll be quite as fast as Matthew van der Poel, who won that year, but you never know. We definitely won't be, actually. So yeah, let's get going. No more chitter chatter. Okay, so you join me now. We're just stopped outside the mighty Glengoyne distillery, and it's time for my first ever gel. We're experimenting on this ride. I've not really been fueling properly in the past. I've just been like going out and smashing it, basically. Well, my best impression of smashing it, and not really taking into consideration any fueling. So I bought some gels. I'll run you through just now what I've bought. Back at the mothership, aka Decathlon, to pick up somehow some more bits for cycling. This time we're picking up fueling equipment. Got the goodies. Okay, so let's check out what we've bought. The main sort of backbone of the plan is to use these. These are gels. I have literally never used a gel before. The idea of sort of squeezing energy soup into your face while going along seems a little bit strange, but these are what most people seem to use and what most people seem to recommend. Apparently the gel is meant to be easier to digest when you're kind of going along a bit harder. I don't know, we'll see how we go. I've also got these sort of bars or chews. Instinctively to me, it seems like having something solid is going to be nicer. But these little bars are kind of more appealing to me than the gels. We'll try both and see how we get on. I also have this stuff here. This is carb mix. This goes into the water bottle, and this is going to sort of supplement the gels / bars. I bought the orange flavour because I felt that orange was maybe going to be a little bit less sickly, but we'll see how we get on with that as well. The plan is, in terms of intake, is to either go through 2 of these in an hour, or 1 gel and 1 bar, and then to sort of top that up with a bottle which is full of the carb mix. We're looking for sort of 60 to 90 grams of carbs per hour, and that should roughly hit that. My water bottles are 750 ml. I'm a little bit worried that that's quite a lot of liquid to drink every hour, but we'll give it a go and we'll see how we get on. So yeah, this is going to be first ever gel. Obviously the idea is not to stop every 20 minutes to take one of these, but as you can see, I'm on a pretty sort of busy main road here. It's quite a fast road too, and I didn't want to be footering around with it. Now, it's a bit of a lucky dip what one we get first. Pineapple. Okay, here goes nothing. Oh God. Oh, that is bogging. We'll just keep going with it. Oh, it's enough to give you the poke. How to poke? Okay, pineapple is not it. That was bogging. Just while we're on the subject of all this stuff, I've got carb mix. I'm meant to basically have 500 ml of that an hour. And we're kind of making our way through that, but it's so salty. Not sure about these nutritional options that I've picked, but pineapple, in stars, pineapple's getting 1 max. Maybe, well, 2 max maybe. We'll see how bad the rest of them are, and then we'll have a better idea about rating. Anyway, let's crack on. Okay, so we're on a nice, slightly quieter bit of road now, and I've just had a chew, and I can tell you that was much better. It just tastes like a sweet. It was fine. Maybe I prefer the chews. We'll see. While we've got a bit of peace, I thought I might explain why I chose the 1040 over the other options. Just a quick aside. These are my first impressions of the device. I've not used it too much yet, but a full review will be coming down the line. Firstly, why Garmin instead of Wahoo or any of the other guys? Well, basically I already have a Garmin watch and I use Garmin Connect a fair bit, so it made sense to try and keep everything roughly the same. Now, why the 1040 specifically? Well, it was much cheaper than the 1050. Secondly, I felt like having the bigger screen would be overall just better. It wasn't much of a price up from the 840 to the 1040. Bigger screen, easier to read maps, seemed kind of no-brainer. I think from memory the battery life was better too. My first impressions so far have been pretty positive, I'd say. I find the map slightly difficult to read, but only when I'm in towns. So like I mentioned before, cycling in and out of Glasgow, the map was pretty difficult to read because it's very busy. But out here on these more rural roads, it's fine, where you only need to really worry about, you know, one corner every 10 kilometers. Absolutely fine. And I could read it in the town, it just wasn't the easiest thing. In terms of the different data screens, this is how I've got my sort of main screen set up. Once I get the power pedals, I'll be adding a power readout to that. I'd be interested to know what fields, if people have this already, what fields they find the most useful to have. I deliberately didn't go for the solar version of this because the battery life on it is good enough for me anyway. I can't remember exactly what it is, I'll put it on the screen, but it's easily long enough for the kind of rides that I'm doing. In terms of ease of use, if you're used to Garmin, it's fine. It all goes through Garmin Connect. I've set it up so that any routes that I plan on commute come up automatically and then you just sync them across. If it was your first Garmin product, I guess you might find it slightly tricky because I don't think that Garmin's UI is the best. And I don't find it like particularly intuitive, but it's not horrific. But I'm, like I say, I'm kind of used to it from my watch and things. We're now on a wee bit of a climb, which gives us a chance to check out the Climb Pro feature. You can see that. Quite difficult when I'm moving around. Basically, it kind of breaks down the climbs into quite kind of easy to read chunks, so you see what's coming up next. And I believe you can change the kind of data it's showing you. That big hill, incidentally, is what we're going up and over in a wee bit. Okay, we're now in the very pleasant wee village slash, I don't know if it's a hamlet or a village, it's very small, of Fintry, and this is kind of where the route intersects the 2023 UCI World Championships. Unfortunately, we're doing this part of the route in reverse, as opposed to the direction that the big guys came, but it still gives me an idea. Fintry's a lovely wee town. I've been here a few times. It's sort of nestled in amongst the Campsie Fells, which is a load of hills just to the north of Glasgow. It's kind of, when you leave Glasgow heading north, it's this kind of bit where you cross into the Highlands, I suppose, and the scenery starts to change quite radically from the sort of rolling flats of the lowlands to the slightly more dramatic hills of the Highlands. Fueling report I've kind of vaguely kept up with my bottles. Been going for about an hour now. I'm meant to really probably have drank a bit more. It's so salty though. I may have got the mix slightly wrong, which isn't helping. I'm also going to take this opportunity while we're stopped for another gel. Lucky dip. Tropical we have this time. The last one was boggin, so we'll see how we get on with this tropical. It's better. Oh Jesus. The bars are so much nicer. Oh. Nah. In the words of a famous Scottish mother, disgusting. Disgusting! So this is us now on the road of the pros. This was in the Road Cycling World Championships course, as mentioned. Of course, we're doing it backwards, so this would have been a descent for them, whereas for us, it's a cheeky wee climb. I've had worse scenery in my time though, I will say that. And by the way, yes, I do have some swanky new sunglasses, and yes, they do make me look a bit of a tosser, but they're handy for keeping not just the sun, but the kind of dust out your eyes. So I've also been told that my normal glasses that I normally wear day to day, if I have an accident, because they've not been designed to break in the correct way, they'll just spear my beautiful face. So I'm hoping that should I collide face first into something, at least the glasses will break in such a way that the damage is mitigated slightly. Although if I've gone face first into something, I'm not sure how worried I'd be about my glasses, but there you go. This is a marvellous bit of road. It's so smooth. Scottish roads, as commented on before, are normally like horrific. But this one, I have to say, European levels of smooth. Lovely. Okay, back into tour guide mode. This here is the Carron Valley Reservoir. It was created in 1939 and it provides water for 150,000 odd folk in the valley. And I totally knew that without looking it up. Aren't I wonderful? Okay, we're just about to start our main climb of the day. It's about 2.5 kilometers and 120 meters of elevation. Not sure what that is in feet. I'll put it down below. But yeah, we're training at the moment for the Étape Caledonia. The main climb on that course is called Schiehallion, and I think it's about 5 kilometers and about 240 meters. So it's basically 2 times what we're about to do here. So this is quite a good little training run. I know that the main climb on the day is about double this, and the gradient and stuff I think is fairly similar. So yeah, I'm just going to try and keep the legs sort of spinning and alternate between seated and standing. We're not going for like a max effort up here, it's just get up it is basically the the name of the game. Feeling okay so far, but there is a bit of a wall coming up. Well, a wall by my standards. Oh, let's see how we go. Oh, bumps. That bit there was 14%. I can do it, but not a lot of it. Oh. Oh, that's us at the top. Nice views, to be fair. Got my finger out of the way of it. Yeah, that was okay. Depending on the gradient, I could do that double over. The really steep bit, the bit that was like 14%, that was tough. And the thing is, you can't really stop. Like, you can't actually, oh, just take a wee break, because you won't get, well, I don't know how you get going again. You just have to kind of like batter on. The road surface being, for the most part, pretty smooth definitely helps. If it's all potholed and, you know, a carpet of different council bodge jobs, which it normally is, to be fair, that'd be a lot more difficult, but the rolling resistance was quite low. Beautiful! Well, that there was my first proper, what I think you could call descent, and I think I learned something. Descending, much more fun than ascending. That was epic. If that was closed roads, like you obviously had to keep slowing down because blind corners and stuff. If that's closed roads, man, that would be awesome fun. Oh, I'm going to end up having a spectacular crash at some point though, but up until that moment, it will be very fun. Well. Oh, another day, another canal footpath. Not a bad way to round off a ride, really. In terms of the fueling, the gels, man, are horrible. I don't know, does anyone else find this, or is it just me? Leave a comment if you find the gels to be disgusting. Disgusting! The bars were fine. The carb mix in the bottles is okay. It's quite salty, but I guess I'll just get used to that. But in terms of energy levels, I felt fine. No problems there. So I guess it's doing its job. Just had another stab with the gels while riding along here, seeing as it's the canal path and it's quiet and I can kind of muck around a bit with them. I've discovered two things. Firstly, don't rip the tab on the top all the way off, because then you have to put it around with it. Secondly, don't do the whole gel in one go like a shot, which is kind of what I was doing. They're better, to me anyway, if I kind of sip at it. I just had the apple flavour, it was much nicer, but I would say still not like pleasant. The bars are much nicer, so we'll see how we go with that. If you have any other tips regarding fueling and stuff like this, I'd love to hear them, because I'm pretty new to it. So I'm just experimenting, and this is basically day one of that process. Okay, we're now on the back roads, just outside of Milgai, I think. Nearly home. It's a nice house. I've lost the contact lens, which is adding a certain amount of peril to proceedings. But we're nearly there, so I think it'll be okay. I was indeed nearly there, and being the consummate professional that I am, I totally forgot to shoot an outro. But here we are, we obviously made it home in one piece. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, you know where the subscribe button is down below. We'll be covering a lot more cycling on the channel, as well as running, training, racing, all sorts of things. Please do subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.